Every generation has that one person who would sell their own shadow if it meant standing in the spotlight. For some, that person was none other than Sidney Starr. On the surface, she was bold, beautiful, and impossible to ignore. But beneath the filters and fame-chasing headlines was a trans woman willing to blur every line between truth and illusion to feel seen. This is a story about the relentless chase for fame and the trail of lies she's left along the way. But before we dive deep into this hot, stankin' mess, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. To really understand this level of tomfoolery, we gotta spin the block back to 2010. Back when the rapper Chingy was still coasting off his early 2000s hits like Right There and Holiday Inn.
Oh, the good old days, yeah.
The industry was shifting, new artists were taking over, and Chingy was just trying to keep his name buzzing. Then, out of nowhere, Sidney popped up like a plot twist nobody asked for, dropped a few pictures with him, and claimed they were booed up. And well, the internet lost its collective mind. The blogs went into overdrive, the memes multiplied like gremlins after midnight, and poor Chingy was screaming his innocence, saying Sidney was just a fan he took a picture with. But gullible online users loved Sidney's version of the story instead. Before long, Chingy's career was catching strays it didn't deserve. He lost his record deal, a distribution deal, and the industry's support. He told Hot New Hip Hop,
I watched people in the industry who were cool turn their backs. I feel like my career was sabotaged.
During an interview with TMZ, he admitted that it took years to recover and that the lie
hurt my career, man. Like, I'm just gonna be honest about it. It really did.
2 years later, Sidney finally confessed that the story was fake. They didn't even know each other, and it was just an innocent photo. In other words, the relationship existed only in her imagination. Her friends had convinced her that a little scandal could be her shortcut to fame, and she believed them. And technically, it worked, at Chingy's expense. Sidney's name was suddenly everywhere, from gossip blogs to morning radio shows, while Chingy's reputation was hanging on by a thread. She apologized to him multiple times and blamed it on being young and dumb. Chingy forgave her publicly, but the damage was permanent. When somebody lies for attention, it usually comes from a craving to be seen, validated, and celebrated. Psychologically, this is what's called performative identity. It's when someone starts shaping who they are based on how much attention they can get, rather than who they truly are. And once the world starts rewarding that behavior with likes, headlines, and followers, it becomes addictive. For Sidney, the truth stopped mattering the moment the lie started trending. This was the beginning of a dangerous pattern. Sidney had tasted what fame felt like: the attention, the headlines, and the interviews. Once someone's brain gets that dopamine rush, especially after years of feeling unseen or misunderstood, it becomes addictive. For someone like Sidney, who came from an identity already marginalized and misunderstood, that attention probably felt like validation. However, validation built on lies never lasts. In 2014, she told Vlad TV she had undergone a full gender confirmation surgery at the age of 23. She described it as the best decision of her life. It was empowering, and it gave her a sense of completion. But in the same year, she made another headline when she bragged about having a boyfriend for every day of the week. She said most of them were heterosexual men she had met in clubs. That statement wasn't shocking by itself, but it fed into a narrative that she was more interested in stirring controversy than living peacefully. Her interviews were always just a little too sensational for most people's liking. By 2015, her name was linked to another celebrity scandal after posing for a photo with rapper Swae Lee. Gossip blogs tried to imply something romantic was going on, but Swae Lee immediately shut that down by writing in an Instagram comment,
"If you see us and we don't want to stop or take a picture, this is why. This is a man. I was stopping to take a picture with a fan. Don't get it misconstrued." He said, y'all ain't about to ruin my career. Hell, I saw what happened to Chingy.
Sidney's friend, Shauna Brooks, jumped in and clapped back, saying Swae Lee had no problem calling Sidney a woman when they met that night. Once again, Sidney found herself at the center of some mess. The internet debated her identity, her intentions, and her obsession with fame. And every time the storm calmed, she found a new way to bring her name back into the headlines. By 2017, it was the rapper Designer's turn to get caught up in Sidney's jiggly cheeks. A video of Sidney twerking on him at a club went viral, and people immediately started talking about it. The online discourse got so loud, Designer had to hop on Instagram before taking a flight to say he had no idea who Sidney was and didn't know she was transgender.
Alright, man, they trying to make a joke of me, you know what I'm saying, put these videos up. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a dude, man. We was at a party, man. Nigga came up to me, I'm a celebrity, man. Get your clout, man. Get your clout off that shit, man.
At this point, you're probably noticing a pattern. Each time Sidney is fading from the spotlight, she finds a way to attach herself to a new celebrity man, someone with enough name recognition to make people pay attention again. It wasn't always malicious, but it was clearly intentional. Psychologically, that behavior aligns with a deeper process called the validation loop. When a person's self-worth becomes tied to external validation, especially in the entertainment world, they'll do anything to maintain that attention, even if it means crossing ethical lines. By 2018, Sidney was back on television, appearing on VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York. In one scene, she visited a doctor and discussed undergoing gender reassignment surgery. Wait a minute now. So she told Vlad TV that she got the surgery when she was 23.
So what's the damn truth? She lie for a living, don't she? Golly.
The scrutiny was relentless, but she kept feeding it. Whether intentional or not, she had built a brand around being unpredictable and controversial. Then came 2021. She appeared on Baddies ATL, where she would wear a fanny pack to conceal whatever she had going on below the belt. That same year, she made headlines again, this time involving actor Darius McCrary, who played Eddie Winslow on Family Matters. Sidney posted photos and videos of them grinding on each other and swapping spit. The internet didn't hesitate to speculate that they were blowing each other's backs out, especially after this video, captured by our friend Storm Monroe, went viral. Darius quickly denied the rumors. He said he was a grown man, engaged and not romantically involved with Sidney. His team went even further, accusing Sidney of trying to create fake storylines and relationships to get back on Love and Hip Hop.
Sound like something she would do with her lying ass.
Sidney appeared on The Real talk show later that month and claimed they were just friends. She smiled through the denial, but her reputation took another hit. For many, it was deja vu, the same manipulative, conniving behavior that she used to ruin Chingy's career. By May 2024, she was singing a different story.
I've done with a lot. I've dealt with some that you guys have seen that have actually admitted to dealing with me. The Eddie Winslow situation, Family Matters.
Darius wasn't too upset about the rumors, though. He's been spotted with Sidney multiple times since then, including during an October 2024 joint interview on the No Jumper podcast. During their chat, she claimed Darius paid for her gender reassignment surgery.
I don't believe nothing that come out of that girl's mouth. Nothing. Nothing.
So why does Sidney keep doing this? Why does she lie, exaggerate, or twist stories? In some ways, Sidney is a mirror of our culture. We reward controversy more than truth. We click on messiness more than a story about compassion. We build people up for the same reasons we tear them down, because watching them fall makes us feel powerful. Sidney is a reflection of what fame addiction looks like. Every story and every little white lie is her desperate attempt to stay relevant in a news cycle that focuses on a new story every few minutes. When you look at the full picture, the Chingy scandal, the celebrity rumors, the contradictions about her transition, it all comes back to one thing. She's a woman who keeps reinventing her story because she doesn't believe her real one is enough. Sidney had potential. She could have been an advocate, a trailblazer, or a story of triumph. But instead, she's become a punchline in the very industry she so desperately wants to be a part of. Until she learns to find value beyond headlines, she'll always be chasing the next scandal.